Hello, and thank you for joining me in another video. And today we've got a very exciting video on Nebius, and actually some news that's just come out a number of hours ago, which has huge implications for the future of this company. So before we get right into that, first of all, if you're new here, my name's Howard. I've been a retail investor for over 10 years, and I recently created this YouTube channel to share my investing research. And if you're not new here, then thanks again for joining me in yet another video. So let's jump straight into what we're going to be talking about today. So first of all, before we get into this news, let's set the stage with the Nebius stock. So hovering around $90 at the moment. We, of course, had a very up and down day yesterday, finishing in the red because of what happened over the weekend with the conflict in Iran. And we're kind of down quite a bit on the last 5 days and up slightly on the month. It's been very choppy for quite a while now. We've got lots of people worrying about the stock. Data centers, is AI going to take over the world and kill software, or is AI actually a complete bubble and it's not going to do anything? People seem to be investing like both of those things are true at the moment. Meanwhile, I'm just confidently looking at Nebius's execution and kind of thinking about what they're going to be doing in the future. And on that, let's jump into the great bit of news that we've had that's recently come out. So to keep you updated, if you don't know, Independence, Missouri is going to be the home, hopefully, of Nebius's new and biggest ever data center, 800 megawatts or maybe even more. And during the process of going through this, they have to get, obviously, planning approvals to build this huge multi-billion-dollar project. And we have just had confirmation that the vote, I think it's to do with the Independence, Missouri's council, they have gone ahead to approve the construction of this data center. So this is absolutely huge news. And they have also approved the tax favors that they're going to be giving to Nebius as well. So basically, I think it's to do with them not having to pay property taxes to encourage them to build this huge development in their town. And then obviously Nebius will be giving a lot of benefits back in the terms of their economic benefit and also investing into the local communities. 5-2 vote. There was apparently, from like some of the content which was really helpfully shared on X, lots of people kind of showed up to this hearing. It was a very important one for the local community, and a lot of people were against this. You can see here we've got lots of people in this video holding up anti-data center signs. Always surprises me when these people protesting already all have exactly the same sign, that they've clearly just been handed it on the way there. So you do wonder how much they do actually care if they can't really be bothered to make their own sign. But there we go. And if we go down here, they basically just announced, what they're going to be doing. It was a 5-2 approval. The company is requesting a 90% tax abatement on both the building and the servers inside. So as a Nebius investor, that is, of course, really, really good news. It means they're not going to be paying a huge amount of tax when they're building this huge property. And they're also going to be giving back to the local community in lieu of that. And also already, we've got another thing that's featured here on Yahoo News, but we've already had a Nebius spokesperson speak about this, saying that they appreciate the city council's vote tonight and grateful for the backing from education, labor, and business leaders, as well as the broader independence community. And just talking about kind of the benefits of their AI factory, which is what they're calling this data center, and what it will bring to the local community. And also we can see like there was a live stream from this as well. So I was keeping up to date with this over on X. We've got Hyper AI Capital with providing some good content on this. And we can actually see the video here. I won't play it, but actually going through, this is when we first got the news, you can actually see them approving this data center in real time. So really, really awesome news. So let's have a look at what does this mean in the broader context of this project. Well, Nebius have very helpfully actually given us a nice plan on what is actually needed to get this data center over the line. They have a piece all about this data center, and this does seem to be marketed less towards investors, but more towards the local community and kind of the project as a whole, and kind of squashing any negatives that people might think about it, and also showing all the positive stuff that this will be doing as well. You can see here, we've got a beautiful timeline here. So Nebius acquired the land. That's only back in December, only a few months ago they did that. had the community open house, and then we had the city council study session. I believe it looks like the Chapter 100 tax application city council meeting, February to March, that looks what has just happened. And also that should be a nice big tick next to that now, because we've just seen that that has been approved. So we've gone through over 50% of the process now, it looks like. What you've got next is ongoing community engagement. So I would assume that's basically the community's chance to engage with Nebius, ask them questions, and also Nebius to engage back with the community and discuss what they're going to be giving to the community, how this structure is going to be built, how it's going to be managed, the jobs that are on offer, and also trying to help any concerns probably about the massive amount of construction and also the power and water usage and stuff like that. And they have like thought about these things as well, and they do go over some of the concerns already. No increase in residential power, annual water usage of an average restaurant, because they're going to be reusing all of their water as well, and all of the other benefits there as well. And also something as well, which is very, very important for these data centers, they use a huge amount of power. I think in one of those other pieces we just went through there, they said they estimated about 500,000 homes, the equivalent of 500,000 homes this data center is going to use. But they have thought of this. They've partnered up with Independence Power and Light. So from what I understand, they might have got they're either building a new, I think they've got an old power station they're actually putting back online, or at least improving, just to power this data center. And also running some sort of study. I think this is here, yes, IPL to deliver additional power in the second half of 2026, and then also to launch a study to provide additional power by early 2029, which will be for the full capacity of the data center, I believe. So they have kind of thought about these processes of, we need to get this extra power online before we have this data center up and running. And then we'll touch it again. So we know that we've got this data center is getting made now, and we'll touch it again on some of the first news that we had on this, which is from Data Center Dynamics. We have looked at this before, and this was released back in January, but we can see actually what they're planning on doing here. So it's an 800 megawatt data center. And we can see here the power plant will be built in phases. This is the power plant that's going to be kind of powering the data center. The first will be 250 megawatts, phase completed by October 2027. An expansion up to approximately 1.1 gigawatts of capacity would be completed by December 2029. And it says the project will require at least 800 megawatts, according to the city, which will be supplied by a new privately financed facility developed by Independence Power Partners and at the retired Blue Valley Power Plant site. So it actually looks like it's a retired power plant site that they are bringing back online or redeveloping, that they can then use to power this huge data center. And this is a very, very important landmark for Nebius, because this is going to be the biggest data center that they have. So if we bring up here, let's have a look at what they're actually running at the moment. So see where they stand with these data centers. So they've got a really nice selection of data centers scattered all over the place. So we've got Finland, France, Iceland, Kansas City, which is a co-location, Vineland, which I believe is their biggest one at the moment, or it's under construction, Independence, we've just spoken about, UK and Israel. So these vary from kind of their owned places, or they look at co-locations, for example, in the UK, which is working with a partner, then they can then use their capacity to serve their customers. This Independence, Missouri one, 800 megawatts plus campus. This is by far going to be the biggest data center that Nebius has for now. And also they are building this thing from scratch. They are not going into existing buildings and they are not co-locating with anyone. They are building this from scratch. Also, on top of this as well, they have recently announced inside the most recent earnings, I believe, they have actually got a new data center in France that they are planning. Now, that should be up, kind of talking about co-location. When we talk about they've acquired this building, this means that they can do it a lot quicker, because they've acquired a building and already have supply for this big X factory, power supply for this big X factory set up and ready to go. So they can essentially just move their servers in and get going a lot quicker. So that's something else exciting we've got going on as well. This Independence, Missouri one looks like it's going to be their huge home campus. And importantly, inside the United States as well. It's great to see that they've got this foothold in Europe across a lot of different countries, but they are still going very, very big in the US, because of course, at the end of the day, that is the biggest market. That is where the majority of their customers and revenue is ultimately going to come from as long as things keep on developing as they are with AI inside the United States. So this is fantastic to see that it's happened, and ticking along from looking at those stages that we've got, it's pretty much all going to plan at the moment in terms of acquiring the land, the meetings and the approvals. Now we just look ahead to construction starting, which I believe should be starting around mid to the second half of this year, when they should be breaking ground and actually getting going that. So it's really, really exciting to see. And also at the same time, just a couple of weeks ago, we're already getting announcements of other data centers they're putting in place. And it does seem like they've got so much demand. They are really, really going for high growth at the moment, as they should be. So they are going to be spooling up these data centers as quick as possible. The quicker they can increase their capacity, the more customers they can serve and the more revenue they can bring into the business. And that is the name of the game at the moment when we're talking about an industry that is growing as fast as AI. So I hope you found this useful. I thought it was some really, really important news. I've had previous videos where I've gone over this data center in more detail. So if you want to have a look at that, please do go through my channel. You'll be able to find that. And this is a really important update on actually the progress of that. So it's going to be exciting to see how this continues to progress. So I hope you found it useful. If you have, please do let me know in the comments if you're excited about this data center as much as I am, and also what you're thinking about what this means for the future of Nebius. And apart from that, I will see you in the very next Nebius video, which will be coming very, very soon.